Okay, let's talk about cracking the code on one of the trickiest parts of any test. You know the one, the true/false question. They look so simple, right? It's a 50-50 shot. But that's exactly how they get you. So how do we stop losing those easy points and start spotting the traps from a mile away?
All right, let's just jump right in with a little pop quiz. You see this on a test. What's your gut reaction? True or false? The Sahara is the largest desert in the world. Lock in your answer. You got it? Okay, let's see if you fell into the trap. And it's false. Surprise! The largest desert on Earth is actually the Antarctic polar desert. I know, it's wild. See, a desert is defined by how little rain it gets, not by how hot it is. This is a perfect example of what I call the easy question trap. It's designed to catch you off guard when you're moving just a little too fast.
So how do these tricky questions actually work? Well, it's usually not that the entire statement is some crazy, made-up fantasy. No, most of the time the trick is way smaller, way sneakier. It all comes down to something I call the one-word lie. And your job is to become a detective and find that single flaw.
This right here, this is the golden rule. You have to burn this into your brain for every true-false question you ever face. Think of a statement like a chain. If even one little link is broken, the whole chain is useless. It doesn't matter if 99% of it is strong and true. One tiny flaw makes the entire thing false, period.
Let's put this rule into action with a classic example. You read this on an exam. All mammals live on land. Now, a huge part of your brain is probably screaming, yeah, that sounds about right. You know, dogs, cats, elephants, us, we're mammals and we live on land. But hold on, remember the rule. We have to check every single part.
And there it is, right there. You see that word, all? This is what we call an extreme or absolute word. You should treat these words like a giant flashing neon sign that says, danger, look closer. It's making a claim that there are absolutely zero exceptions. Is that really true?
And of course, we know there are exceptions. What about whales, dolphins, manatees? All of them are mammals, all living in the water. So because of that one little three-letter word, all, the entire statement just completely collapses. That one-word lie makes the whole thing false. Boom.
So now you know the trap. But you need the right gear to get through it. Let's think of this next part as your official detective toolkit. Everything you need to investigate every single statement like a pro.
First up, you need to know your primary suspects. These are the words you've got to watch out for. All, always, never, and only. These words are absolutists. They leave no room for exceptions. And you know what? That actually makes your job easier, because it makes any statement they're in very easy to prove false. All you have to do is find one counterexample, and you've cracked the case.
Okay, this all builds into a simple, foolproof method. Here are your 4 steps. 1. Read the entire statement. Seriously, don't skim. 2. Hunt for those extreme words we just talked about. 3. Break the sentence down into smaller pieces and check each part in your head. And 4, and this is the big one, only, and I mean only, mark it true if every single piece of that puzzle fits perfectly.
Now that you've got the detective method, we need to talk about your biggest enemy, the villain of this story. I call it the speed reader's mistake. This is, without a doubt, the #1 reason people lose points on these kinds of questions.
So here's how the trap works. Your brain sees a phrase that's mostly correct and feels familiar, like mammals live on land, and it just leaps to a conclusion. It latches onto the part that feels true and totally ignores the one word like all or only that changes the entire meaning. You end up answering based on a vague feeling of familiarity, not on what the statement actually says.
So, when test day comes, you have a choice. Who are you going to be? Are you going to be the rushed reader who glances at the sentence, sees something that looks familiar, and walks right into the trap? Or are you going to be the detailed detective who slows down, inspects every single word, and finds the truth? That choice makes all the difference.
And you know, here's the really cool part. This whole skill, it isn't just about passing a test. It's so much bigger than that. When you master this, you're not just learning a test-taking trick, you're actually developing a new superpower. You're becoming a more precise, more careful, and more critical reader in pretty much everything you do.
Because at the end of the day, these questions are not a race. They're a test of precision. They are designed on purpose to reward the careful reader over the fast one. Your goal is accuracy, not speed.
So, as we wrap this up, let's boil it all down. Let's lock in that key takeaway.
What is the single most important thing you need to do next time you're staring down one of these questions?
This is it. This is your mantra from now on. Slow down, take a breath, read every single word. Because in the black and white world of true or false, mostly right is still 100% wrong. It has to be perfect, because one wrong detail, well, it changes everything.